Hi, I'm Steve Garrett, and I want to tell you about a leadership lab that may be of interest to you. If you're fortunate enough to hold your RILA program at a facility that has a climbing wall, you have an opportunity to utilize a leadership lab that the young people really seem to like, and it teaches several leadership principles. The lessons learned from this leadership lab would include stepping out of your comfort zone, working as a team, the fact that sometimes the person you seems like they're the weakest person on the team is actually the one who can contribute much more than you ever thought. And it's got an interesting concept to it that a lot of times the young people think they just want to climb the wall, and then they have to figure out how to get the team goal ahead of their personal goal. The materials that you need for a lab like this, well, it starts off with you need a climbing wall, and they're pretty expensive. So you need a facility that has a climbing wall, I guess, because you don't want to be spending the money to build a climbing wall just for that. You need a harness for each participant to utilize. You need either a staff of people to do the belaying, or you need self-belayers for each individual. You need about a 3-foot piece of rope for each one of the participants. And you're going to need a blindfold for one participant to wear. The staffing for a leadership lab like this, well, it's difficult because whatever facility you have that has a wall, they're probably going to want to provide their staff for safety and liability purposes. But then you're going to need some Rotarians to work along with it. So I'd say a staff of at least 4 Rotarians and whatever the facility wants. If the facility doesn't provide a staff, then you're going to have a special need for people to man the security and liability portion of the whole operation. This is a very time-sensitive lab. Your participants are only going to spend 3 to 5 minutes on the wall trying to accomplish the task, but you have to get them in the harnesses, you have to brief them, you have to make sure they understand the safety of things, because their feet are going to be off the floor. And I'm always a believer that when your feet are off the floor, you're taking a little bit of a risk, and that certainly applies here. You're going to need another 5 to 10 minutes for debriefing at the end of the thing. So I would say that you're probably looking at a 20 to 30 minutes for each small group on the wall. And usually facilities that have walls, they only have one wall. So if you've got a number of groups, I mean, you can stagger them so that only one group is on the wall at a time and the other groups are doing the debriefing and the preparation. But it is a time-sensitive activity. The lab begins with an orientation, both the safety and what is involved in the activity. What we're going to do is we're going to line our kids up, or if it's a wall that's circular, you're going to circle them around the lab. We're going to tie them together with 3-foot long ropes. Now, you may need longer ropes to go around waist, but usually you can tie one harness to the other about 3 feet in length. And then you're going to blindfold one member of the team. And the goal is for them to, and you probably need, most of these labs, walls have a bell at the top sometimes, maybe a bucket that you put something into, but you only need one person to be the one that goes to the top of the lab. And that's kind of an important thing. Now, all of the team think that they want to go all the way to the top because it's fun to climb on the wall. You know, a really good strategy, and I've watched this happen and get developed, and sometimes the really good strategy is for the best person who's going to climb to go first, and everybody else to go just a little bit to their right and a little bit to their left below them, so that the weakest person doesn't have to go all the way up to the top. But interestingly, if you've got one person that's blindfolded and the other team members are providing them with information, put your hand there, put your foot there, they're not getting as much information about where to put their hands and everything from looking, but they're also not looking down and getting scared. And the blindfolded person sometimes is the one who can goes the farthest and the fastest. And so that's basically what the Leadership Lab is all about. Of course, after they do that, then you go out and you do a little debriefing. You know, what was the blindfold member the weakest team member of the team? Would you have been more effective if you had spent more time forming a strategy, thinking about how you're going to accomplish this goal? What strategies might have worked that you hadn't thought about? Is the non-climbing members provide information, reassurance, and support? Did the city or the group effectively share their resources, their time, and their information? That's a fun little leadership lab. I've had a lot of good experience with this in our particular RILA program, but I've seen it done in other RILA programs. And as I say, the young people seem to like it. They seem to like to do the activity. So give it a try. And thanks for listening to me. I'm Steve Garrett.